Okay, we're back to the sauce. It's been cooking for about 5 or 6 minutes. It's in a slow bubble, and if you could tell the consistency of it's almost like a gravy, but it's a little bit thinner than a gravy. This is how it's supposed to look. So we're going to shut it, and we're going to bring the pan over to the chicken. And we're going to ladle the sauce on top of the chicken, like this. And what I'm going to try to do is save some, because I'm going to make the base for the pasta sauce with whatever's left in the pot. So I'm not going to use it all. Okay, so this is about what's left in the pan, so I'm going to set this over here, and we'll work on that in a minute. Okay, and then this is just going to go in the oven. And the oven's at 375. It's going to go in for about 20 minutes. It's going to start to bubble, and it'll cook, so the chicken won't be raw, and it'll be ready to go. So, and we have the pasta water just about ready. I'm going to move the oven rack, because this one is too low. And then I'll just slide these in next to each other. Like that. Now again, if you were cooking it in the pan, you would have just put the chicken back in the pan, covered it, and done the same thing, and cooked it for 20 minutes inside the skillet. But because I was making quite a bit, I had to put it in the oven. I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes, so don't forget it. The pasta water is just about boiled, so we're going to raise the heat on it a little bit. And try to time it so we're putting the pasta in when there's 10 minutes left on the chicken.
We got to throw some salt in the water?
When it boils. So we'll put a lot of salt in.
About how much for people want to measure?
This is probably 3 tablespoons of salt. It's supposed to taste like the ocean. Okay, so now I'm back to what's left of this sauce. I'm going to turn the heat back on. I'm going to take what's left here. Now it's fairly thick still, so I can add some more chicken stock to it and thin it. So that's what I'm going to work on here. And I'm going to crank the heat up again and bring it back up to a boil. It really doesn't need much in the way of salt, because we've salted it once already. So I'm only going to put a couple of cranks in and just some pepper. The pepper, for this is probably more important than the salt. And already we're coming up to a boil. It's nice to have one of these power burners if you don't have one. You just crank your heat up all the way to high. And we're trying to make sure we get all the good stuff off the side of the pan. And, we don't want to burn it. So then once we've kind of made sure all the good stuff is off the sides here, we're going to get some cream. And I know everybody's complaining. You shades, don't complain. We cannot eat tofu every day. And again, this is Sunday dinner. This is not something I eat 7 days a week. So no harm, no foul. So we're going to take some heavy cream, and it's really not a lot. It's going to go around the pan once. It's probably about 1/4 cup. And that's it. We're going to let that come back up to a boil. Anybody seeing in my fridge? Going to get some parsley. that comes back up to a boil and is pretty much cooked, we'll just sprinkle some parsley in when it finishes. So we got the timer 17 minutes or so left, and in that time we'll have the pasta cooking. The sauce is only going to take a few minutes, then we'll shut it, and then we'll just put the heat on it right before we put it on the pasta. But this is going to be good to go, and the chicken will be done, and we'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all done.